Hi everyone, my name is Michael Mangos, CEO and co-founder of Tamman Inc. I wanted to talk to you today about a time that we kickstarted digital accessibility for one of our clients. They were building a bunch of documents for both in-house consumption as well as public facing, and they weren't really doing much for digital accessibility in that space. And with this new requirement they had and a new goal that they had to make all their documents accessible, they said, Tamman, how can you help us? So we went in and there's four key things. Although I could tell you a lot about the journey that we took them on, I think there's four key things that I want to focus on to share with you today. First is starting out easy. We could have made it really complicated. We could have tried to tackle and bite off more than we could chew. But we said, first, let's set an achievable goal for ourselves. Take it easy at the beginning. The second thing we did was start with a reactive approach. It's kind of necessary. Every business is already working and doing something in this, in whatever domain they're in. And we had to bend into this existing workflow that they had with a mountain of existing documents. So at first we were reacting by remediating after the fact, making digital accessibility for the documents when they were already done, designed, produced. But that allowed us to then also simultaneously work on making proactive choices around inclusive design, building in accessibility in the ideation phase, the writing phase, the design phase, as well as some internal testing controls before it gets to the point of needing remediation. The third thing that I think is really important to point out is that we created champions along the way. So we invested in a handful of people that really knew the craft, or at least that could learn the craft of inclusive design. And then they became those who could teach others. Without those champions, probably the timeline would have been a lot slower. We might not have been able to create the same outcomes. And then the last thing that I want to point out is long-term empowerment. Rather than trying to create a situation where we were going to be needed and engaged over a very long period of time or possibly indefinitely, we really wanted to make sure that the client was able to create these documents on their own, decide how and when they wanted to engage us, and this idea of making an upfront investment in inclusive design and digital accessibility, then the cost of that going down to almost or equal to the prior budget for making these documents. That once they were able to shift from being a reactive shop to a proactive shop, they saw that it didn't really cost much more to maintain what they had built.